Welcome back to Unleashing the Brilliance, the podcast where we explore human nature and experience while learning to live our most authentic selves. I am your host, Amy Bascom. Let's dive in. Thank you all for coming back and joining me for another week. Today is a very special Valentine's Day episode. I wanted to share with you how authenticity and healing from your past, growing and changing, can bring you the love that you have been dreaming and waiting for. Unfortunately, I don't have that experience, but you know who does? My first guest on the show. Phil is my go-to tech guy for all things business related. Kid you not, this guy fixed my webpage in a fraction of the time it took me. Spent hunting through notes, racking my brain, and clicking on random buttons to try and find something that looked familiar. He spent most of his adult life working retail before the grind of that life wore him down and burned him out. He joined a business course and an ecosystem where he would later meet Jess. Jess is a single mom in the Canadian military and wanting to shift careers. She found herself on a healing journey and took her passion to the same business course. I absolutely adore Jess. Seeing her passion for spirituality, watching her manifest things in her life inspired me to listen to my intuition and follow my heart. Phil and Jess are some of my favorite people on this planet. We met a few years back, and they have been some of my biggest supporters and cheerleaders. We all started the same course roughly around the same time. When I asked them back a few months ago if they would join me today, they were newly engaged. So let's check in and see what's new. Take it away. Hey, so today's episode, we are here with Phil and Jess. How are you guys today?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing very, very well here up in Canada. It is cold. It is beautiful outside though, so I cannot complain.
Down here in Michigan, it is freezing out, but we had a little bit of a warm up. So some of our snow has melted. At least my porch has been, my balcony has been cleared off. And then it came right back because, Michigan snow. Phil, how's your weather down?
Today it is a nice, warm, sunny, 68-degree,
Oh, shut up. Not
beautiful
fair.
day here down in good old Tennessee.
Yes. You're sitting in like the high 60s. I'm sitting in the 20s. Jess, how are you sitting?
I don't do Fahrenheit, but I am negative 10 degrees Celsius.
Cold.
Yes, it is cold.
That's worse.
Canada. It's all right.
Right. So you guys are married.
Yes, we are.
What?
Yeah, we got married in a very, very short amount of time and very proud of it too.
Yep, it was one of those things. The whole old saying, if you know, you know. Well, I know what that means now. So it was a match made in heaven.
That's awesome. Well, how did you guys meet? Tell everyone how you met.
All right. Well, so officially we saw each other on a online entrepreneurial thing that we were doing. And I know I seen him doing some of those challenges that we were all supposed to do. It was like a summer of success challenge that we were all a part of. And I remember watching him and seeing him in some of his things. And I never really thought much just because he's just another person out there. And back then, this was like when you're first starting out, right? And to me, I was in the mindset of they're my competition.
Yeah.
Totally different now. But back then it was like, you're just getting into it. You're like, everybody's my competition. So I was like watching him and I was like, oh, I don't like him because he's good.
Almost like an enemies to lovers situation.
Yeah. He has no idea. I never told him this either. Yeah. So, and then after that though, I moved off of that program and I went into another. So I was doing affiliate marketing, right? So, and then I started making some really good progress. And yeah, he reached out to me. And once he reached out to me, I was just like, yes, I know he's good. So I'm going to bring him in and then I can make even more money from bringing him in. And I was just like getting all pumped up. And I was just, like I said, I was in the wrong mindset at that time, but I was super pumped when he reached out to me because I really appreciated his work that he did. And I knew he was good at what he was doing. So I was like super excited to bring him in. And then with the people I was working with, they got me on their team and then they liked Phil as well. So we brought him on our team and then Zoom calls after Zoom calls, and that's how we met.
Yeah, it was,
all over the screen.
Yeah, pretty much just like Jess said, it was on that Zoom call a couple of summers ago, and I noticed her sitting there, or on screen, I should say, and every time I saw her, like when they pan across, I couldn't help but like notice her, and I knew there was something about her. I didn't know what it was, but something attracted me to her for whatever reason. So months down the road, I noticed she was having success in the new program. I reached out to her, but like I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous because like I don't even know this girl, but I'm gonna reach out to her anyways, and hopefully she's not like, oh, creep, go away. Like, no. But
Feel any creepy vibes when you reached out?
No
just
creepy.
yeah, I was real casual about it. And from that very first conversation, I just had an amazing feeling, unexplainable feeling, and I never wanted that to leave. So we just started working together and the rest just fell into place naturally, honestly, and sparks started flying.
It's beautiful. So when did you guys first meet in person?
So, I was working out in Moose Jaw. So I'm in the Canadian Air Force. So I live over in Nova Scotia right now, but I got posted over into Saskatchewan just to go help out. We have what's called the Snowbirds. They're tutors. They do tours all around Canada. Absolutely beautiful air show. So I was out there helping them prepare. And it was a 2-month stint. And at this whole time, me and Phil were chatting away. We just started officially dating on online, never met before or anything like that. And it was like getting to the point where I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna get back home and you're gonna be there waiting for me, right? Like I just kept pushing for it and I just wanted to meet him, right? And I don't know what happened with us and it just kept getting pushed off and pushed off. And I was just like, finally, I'm like, hey, guess what, Phil? I booked a ticket. So I booked my ticket down to go see him because I was tired of waiting for him to come up to see me, and so I surprised him with the ticket down there. And then, yeah, as soon as I got back from Moose Jaw, there, I was able to take some time off, and I just said, "Screw it, yeah," and I flew down to Tennessee.
That's so cute.
I took the reins.
Hey, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to
I'm
just
glad she did.
take the bull by the horns and go get what you want.
Yeah, one of those saying, "Shit or get off the pot," right? So,
In this entrepreneurial space, one thing that is talked about a whole bunch, as listeners are learning, that I have been in that space as well, to learn about how the mindset works. Jess, you want to talk about that a little bit?
oh yes, this is my forte. I am huge with the mindset. It is actually a huge part of why I got into the online space. So we're gonna get little deep and personal here. I was an alcoholic. And oh, by the way, this is kind of cool. This worked out this way. I am 3 years sober today.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Okay, so at this point in my life, 3 years ago, I came to a realization like it was like a rock bottom for me. And I ended up because being in the military, they were able to get me into a program. So this program was a month-long intensive addictions preventative treatment therapy program, and it was full length. It was 15 months, but like intense for a whole month. That was my place of duty was to go to this program, and it was like group therapy. We went so deep. We learned so much about limiting beliefs, and like it wasn't just about addictions because there was alcohol, weed, gambling. They had food. It was all those addictions, but we went so deep. Like we went into like growing up, your what happens in your brain at certain ages and all this stuff. Like you know all this stuff too. But I mean, you had to go and pay for therapy to go get this done, right? And it
Insurance.
friggin' okay, well, good. But how many people don't even know this until they have a problem? And by that time, they already have done irreversible damage to people that are their loved ones. Why is this that I get to do it for free and get paid to do it essentially because it was my place of duty? I didn't have to take time off work or anything. Um, but it had to happen after. Like all these people that I was a part of and doing this with, they had so many stories. They like so many of them almost freaking died. Like they were in the hospital right before they came to this. It's just like, holy crap, like this is stuff that needs to be taught in schools.
Yes, absolutely.
It really did. So that's what ignited it in me, right? This is what like just I wanted to get my voice out there. And then I started taking programs with like learning how to become a public speaker and that kind of stuff. So I got really dove deep into that kind of side of things because of like I was almost like a spiritual awakening for me too. It was so much inner work that I had to do, and this program really helped me do it. And it totally changed my mindset. And I just wanted to help everybody that I could. I wanted to get that out there and just, I had so many people reach out to me when they see my shift. And I was able to help with all this mindset stuff. And it just is so powerful. And I know I've been able to help Phil as well, but the mindset is absolutely one of the biggest, like we are known as the mindset marketers because we both know how important it is, but we're also into the online marketing scene too, right?
You had a huge challenge of finding your authentic self to develop that. How did that end up playing into your role with meeting Phil and starting your love story?
It's a good question. I think when we started working together, a huge part of it was that we both could see, like after spending so many hours upon hours upon hours on Zoom calls with each other, we really got to know each other. And I would even talk about some of the stuff I learned, and he took everything that I taught him as I was learning it, and that just made us so much more close. Like he was so open to receiving all the information that I was able to learn and share with him, and he was like a sponge for that. So we both became very, very open, and we were able to communicate so well. And he was able to see things differently when I was having issues, and then he would be able to talk to me about it and like, hey, Jess. And we just both felt that passion towards each other and being authentic. We were just being able to share all that stuff authentically and talk about that, you know.
Yeah. So what does authenticity mean to you guys?
I think authenticity is just it's a it's a requirement really, especially in the online space. So authenticity to me means not being afraid to show who you are and stand up for what you believe in, even if it does go against the crowd and like the normal quote unquote, oh, well, you should believe this because this person said so. Like being authentic to yourself is just knowing what you stand for, sharing your values,
Yeah.
and not being afraid of it and being confident in doing it. That's what it means to me. I know I had to go through a lot of stuff as well as Jess. I grew up in a really small town, did what typical teenagers do. You just want to go out, ride around in your cars. Not much to do in that town other than hang out. And it made me become very easily influenced by peers for that reason. We all wanted to be one of the cool kids. Everyone wanted to be part of the in crowd and you didn't want to be left out. So for that reason, I fell into some bad habits at a young age, created a pretty rough lifestyle for myself, drug addictions, alcohol abuse. Those were the main factors that really held me back. I had to learn a lot of lessons the hard way. And going through all that and beating those addictions on my own, I never went to therapy. I never talked with anybody about it. And maybe I should have now that I'm at this point in my life. But I think the biggest point for me is that I did get through it on my own, made me feel stronger, and it knew that that told me that I had a gift that I could go out and help others and empower them to better their situations. And I can now happily say that I'm living a sober lifestyle, and I think that's another factor that played into attracting Jess and I together was just the personal development side of it and just being authentic, our true self.
Jess, what does authenticity mean for you?
Really living up to what you feel is true and not listening to others, like Phil was saying there too. Because that was one thing that was huge with what brought us together too, is that we worked for and with and learned a lot online. And we were able to see, like, we were both able to step back and see what it was that they were doing and their angles, and we could see like it wasn't what was true to us. We never wanted to be those people. So being authentic is being open, being a like transparent. That's huge. Like authentic is being transparent. Everybody that knows Jess and Phil, the mindset marketers, they know us, they know that we don't bullshit. We don't have any hidden agendas. We are authentic and we are true to that. That is what authenticity is to me, is being absolutely truthful and transparent and live up to our values.
Yeah, that was one thing that I struggled with affiliate marketing was a lot of what we were taught, especially in one of the companies, was literally copy other people and do what is already successful. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I was like, I can't not be myself. Like this feels so wrong to just steal somebody else's content and be like, yeah, this is me. And it's not.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I felt that way too. There was just, I always try to put a spin on it. I mean, there's definitely things I did to copy to paste sort of idea that were working, but I always try to put my own spin on it. I never try to like show anybody or anything that I didn't believe in. And as soon as I did believe in it, as soon as I got any inkling that I just like, wait a minute, I see something that's, I would back away and I would let people know all around me that, hey, this is maybe not the best idea. Like I would be absolutely open and honest and let everybody know. It's one of those things, it feels like ick. I hate that ick. You know what that means. Just doesn't feel right.
You all of a sudden have this knot in your throat or this pit in your stomach where it's like, okay, this is going down a path where I was not anticipating. I don't like where it's going. You
Right.
have the foresight to be able to say, I don't want to choose this path.
100%. Yeah.
So, what challenges have you guys faced being long distance?
I'd say one of the biggest ones is bouts of depression.
Yeah.
Loneliness. I mean, going through sobriety, anybody that's out there listening and is trying to go through and trying to make that decision, it's it's hard. Do not ever think that it's easy, and I will 100% guarantee that you will lose friends. So I have lost a lot of friends because they were always my drinking buddies, right? They didn't see they're not on the same path that I am on now. So I lost a lot of people, and Phil turned into be my people. And I would just be glued to the monitor, talking with him all the time. But it wasn't a human contact thing, you know what I mean? I that was one of the biggest challenges is yes, I had Phil here all the time, but I missed the human touch. That was the biggest.
I was in a long distance relationship in college, and we did 4 years long distance. He was in Nebraska, I was in Michigan. And yeah, our biggest challenge was the fact that we had 800 miles between us. And in college, it's hard to be able to afford a plane ticket. So we did our best to make sure that we would see each other every 3 to 6 months. But yeah, it got challenging.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he was military as well. So I completely understand the military life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lots of travel, lots of separation.
Lots of not being able to talk when you want to, when you need to.
All right, yeah, for sure. I didn't know if you wanted to bring this up yet. I know you were gonna bring it up, but whole separation right now.
Yeah, tell us about what's going on right now because we
The
know
only
that
reason
we know that Phil is down in Tennessee right now. You're up in Canada. Like what's going on? What
Well,
happened?
this is one reason why I wanted to bring that up, just because how to go off of your story there, Amy, when you're talking about the separation and the military and stuff like that. So right now, I'm up in Canada. Phil's down in Tennessee because we had a amazing 3 months up here. We got married up in Canada, and there was no issues. And then we went to go explore the States. We went all over the place, had a mini vacation and honeymoon at the same time. So we tried to come back up across, and at that point, still was denied entry into Canada. So we'll get more into that if you want, but the reason why I was bringing this off of your story there was the whole separation with military reasons and stuff. So we had a lot of mental, emotional issues at that point at the border. We were both like not in a good place. But the way we looked at it, being in the military, we did agree that if I ever went on deployment, that we'd be okay with that. He's like, I won't like it, but I'll be okay with it. And also, there being out on a deployment, you don't get to talk very much, like you were just saying, right? So we're just like, okay, well, this is a deployment. This is how it's going to be for a bit. We're on a deployment. So all we got to do is be grateful that we both have a roof over our heads and that we get to chat whenever we want. And we're not in any war zone. So
That's a great perspective because you can totally take that separation and be like, I can't do this. And it can completely destroy what you guys have built. But I love that you guys are looking at it in a different perspective of Jess is on deployment. You knew how you guys were going to handle that, and you're tackling the challenge head on.
yeah, it's very, very easy for myself being with Phil because he is the most optimistic and happy guy that I know. And he just makes things so easy. So you want to talk a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, I think it's just back to the challenges that we're facing. Everything that Jess said is what I would say. It's just I wanted nothing more than to have that connection, to hold her and hug her and just be next to her. Because in a relationship, I'm sure very similar to others, I like that connection. I like that personal touch, and that's very important. So that's probably the biggest challenge.
Is
The
either of you
whole
guys,
idea,
is any of you guys' love language touch?
mine 100% is.
That was one of
Yes. So I think the mindset shift that we had, I'll kind of touch on Jess saying we're treating this like she's on a deployment, is it makes it a little easier to think of it that way. And we fortunately do have the capabilities being online here to talk to each other daily. So it makes it easier. We've had our moments where one's been down, the other will raise us up, and that's part of being, together in a relationship. It's a team effort here, So we are getting through it.
Yes, absolutely. Being separated, it can be one of the most difficult things.
Especially when it was a shock. We
Yeah.
weren't expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, with my relationship, we knew that until I graduated college that we were going to be apart. And then once I graduated, his family was like, "So when are you moving out? When are you moving out?" And I'm like, "You don't know. I don't know." Huge strain.
Yeah. So that's the one thing with the deployment thing. Yeah, that's I chose that, right? If I was going to go on a deployment, that was because it was my choice. I signed up on the dotted line. I knew that's what I was waiting for. With Phil getting denied at the border there, yeah, and going back home to Tennessee, that wasn't a choice. So sometimes, as much as we have strengthened our mindsets, sometimes there's definitely days that are harder than the others. But like Phil was saying, that's just one of those times where we just pick each other up, because that's huge when it comes to mindset, is to being able to communicate with others. And so anytime you're having a rough, like really rough time or rough go, it's always great, a very good idea to let the people around you, let them know, so that they're not just like taken aback and like thinking that it's at them. Tell them right away, being like, just let you know, I'm having a rough day. If I say anything or if I do anything, I don't mean to. Either you can try to help raise me up or just let me be.
Sometimes you definitely need to let everyone know, like, this is what's going on, and I may not be in this frame of mind that you need me to. Just be aware. It has nothing to do with you. It's all me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is your guys' plans moving forward, or what are you hoping is going to happen?
So currently we're still in the process. Well, I'm still in the process of the permanent residency. Canada has confirmed that they have my application now and pending review. It'll be a little while. We requested them to push it back slightly for various reasons. One of them to up my chance of being accepted and getting my permanent residency. I think right now it's just a matter of getting a temporary. Well, it's not a matter. It is a matter of getting a temporary resident, and we're working with an attorney very closely, getting a bunch of stuff together. And it's a process. It's not a quick one, but with Jess and I being on top of everything, just go getters, if you will. We already had a bunch of stuff ready, and we're like, here, take our stuff. Like, we're ready. Get it going for us. So we're kind of at the point where it's a waiting game to see what happens next, because we've done everything on our end that we can do.
Yeah, just
So
wait. Yeah.
Ooh, I actually got something to add to that. So we both, Phil and I, believe that everything happens for a reason,
Same here.
right? And so we believe that no matter what we've gone through, that we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. So we both went through all kinds of stuff in our life to be where we're at today. Anyway, this situation where he got denied entry and kicked back to the US has separated us. But because it has separated us, we're no longer having honeymoon season, where we're just like, I'm showing him all over Nova Scotia, and I'm just like, we're just spending each other, getting to know each other even more. Now we're separated again by the screens, and what we get to do is we get to dive deep into our business. And that is one reason why I believe this is meant to happen right now, is because we needed a swift kick in our butts to get going on our business again. So we have been doing that, and that has been awesome. So that's where we're at with that. And coming up here in less than 2 weeks, I have a major surgery coming up. So we're getting Philip up here before that. And then I'll be down and out while he's taking care of me and working on the business at the same time. So
Well, I wish you best of luck with your surgery.
thank you. I hope to wake up and have Philip right beside me.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I have a question regarding kind of like the immigration, but with you guys being in two separate countries, And Phil, you wanting to go up to Canada, did that impact your guys' timeline with getting married?
I think I think it did a little bit, not being the main reason. I think in our minds we were wanting it to make it a little easier of a process for us, and we had already talked about marriage anyways, like a little here, a little there. We already knew that it was going to happen. Um, so when I was up there visiting last year, we just went ahead and decided, hey, let's just go ahead and do this. We had a nice small, like very close and intimate ceremony with her daughters and a couple friends. And I think I don't want to say we rushed it because we didn't rush it. We knew it was going to happen, but I assumed that being married would have made this immigration process easier.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. It didn't really work in our favor. Yes, they recognize that we're married, but it's different if she were to try to come here. Like as a spouse of a US citizen, it's a lot easier process for her to get a visa here than it is for me to get a residency there. And, you know, each country has their own laws and their own things in place to prevent certain um, situations from coming up through the immigration process. But I'm very happy when we went ahead and decided to get married. Just kind of put the cherry on top, and we just see where we go from here. It's like this is the beginning of our nice long love story we have together, and this will be a one of those attention grabbing books, if
Ready
you
to
will. Like,
tell.
yeah. So what? Y'all got married, and then a month later you were separated for how long? Like, and then it's in a weird way, it's kind of cool to have
Yeah,
this experience.
every one of those big people, entrepreneurs in some fashion, they all have their story. They all have like their where they started from, their struggles, something cool that everybody can relate to a little bit at the same time, or just like, holy crap, we're making our story right now. We're living it, unfortunately, but
Yeah, my sister and brother-in-law got married 7 years ago, and it was because they came in from South America, and the only visa he was able to get was the fiance visa. So 90 days, they had less than 90 days to get married. Definitely pushed up their timeline, but
isn't there a show like the 90-Day Fiance?
there is. I don't watch it.
No, neither have I.
Like it's not my forte.
No.
Yeah. So is there a different visa that you can go under? Can you do a traveler's visa, or is it because you're married, you guys have different options?
The options that were given to us were obviously I have the PR, the permanent residency visa that I can get. And since all of this happened to where I was denied entry, we spoke with the attorney and had two other options that she really put on the table. The lady we talked to. The one, as I mentioned, the temporary resident permit. This gets me in so in my past, I made some unfortunate decisions. I got in some trouble over 10 years ago, and this is what is now coming back to haunt me. So anybody listening, do your best to not get in any crap because you do not know like when this will come back to bite you right in the butt. And this is happening to me now. I am full proof of it. For that reason is why going through this temporary gateway is going to help because you have to be so far past your convictions before I am considered rehabilitated by Canada's terms.
Okay.
So the temporary resident visa is the route we are having to take. It sounds promising. We've got a nice long story on paper and how, we have to approach this. Our attorney is great. The guy we're actually working more one-on-one with now, awesome guy, gave us a lot of good peace of mind of how everything's going to go. So we're very optimistic that this is going to play out very soon and I will be able to be reunited just in time to take care of her.
Oh, hey, that's what marriage is all about, right?
Exactly.
Being there for each other, ups and downs.
That's right.
Yep, wasn't expecting it down like this so quick though.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Not anticipating that. I have a little inkling of what that's like. Totally different episode. So, what projects are you guys working on now? I know you guys said that you're really focused in on the business, but any major updates?
So yeah, we've actually over the last 2 years we dedicated ourselves to learning software systems that we now purchased the license for to provide to our community. It's called NextWave Suite. So it's
We
got
will all that linked down in the show comments, show notes.
yeah, it's pretty much just a powerful marketing toolbox. To not get too far and deep into it, the social media planner inside of there has been a big thing for us that we are utilizing and helping others utilize, because we know what it's like to like constantly be on that grind of trying to crank out content over and over again. And it's just easier because you hear everyone say, just schedule your content, batch a bunch of content and schedule it. Well, it was too easy to say that and not do it. But with the tools that we have now, it makes it just so simple. We're trying to become the best ones on the market to offer these tools on the social media aspect of it. We schedule everything out, and right now, as of today, we have content scheduled out for the next 2 months, pretty much. One post per day, Monday through Friday. The systems also allows us to use AI, which I know is a big topic now. We can use AI to automatically engage with people who are commenting, on our posts. We can set all that up, so it helps you really get more of a hands-off experience. Not fully hands-off, but it gives us the ability to step back a little bit and put our focus into other, important parts of the business as well. So getting that dialed in to, serve others and really help them benefit from the same stuff we're benefiting from is what we're going for. So next wave suite.
Next wave suite, yeah. So one of the biggest things, like we were saying before, how we've always had all these different companies that we work for or work with or whatever affiliated. The biggest thing was like the consensus of like all of them was promote or come in and learn how to promote my stuff. Right? It's just like, okay. So they always said, no, we're gonna let you promote your stuff. We're gonna teach you how to promote your stuff. But first, you gotta get good at promoting our stuff first. Then you'll understand.
That's something I struggled with a lot, was because I didn't fully understand the process. I didn't understand the software. I remember having conversations and being like, I have no idea. Like, I'm just going to send you to this other person because I can't answer that.
Yeah. So we've been in it for doing that program, that software, which is the same as like every single company that we've worked for or been with. It's the same stuff. It's just been white labeled. So we now have it ourselves, and we know it like ins and outs of it so well that we're pretty much just bringing people in, showing them the ropes, and we are the support now. So it's kind of cool.
With this software, is it just affiliate marketing that you can use it with, or what kind of stuff can you use?
Well, for us specifically, like that was one of the things. It's like we don't want to. A lot of people were trying to maybe possibly bring people in to do the affiliate marketing side of stuff, but we don't want to teach affiliate marketing in the sense that that's what everybody was doing. Every company that we were with prior was like trying to show how to be an affiliate marketer. Make sure you're marketing for us. See, we have a couple of affiliates, but we don't want to teach affiliate marketing. You know what I mean? Because that's the biggest thing. What we want to do, we want people to come in and utilize this system for their business. If they want to be an affiliate marketer, great. We'll set them up and show them how to like use a website, to have their links on it, to have a blogging, to have just all the email systems that they need. But we're not there to be like teaching them how to be an affiliate marketer to be our affiliate. And like people that are coming in now, they have their own website. Like all of them are obviously building out their own websites. They're blogging, they're doing some podcasts, they're doing fitness courses. Like you can build up your own courses and programs in there. Everybody's unique. And it's just, we want to focus on building their business up, not just to learn and be another affiliate marketer.
Be another dime a dozen.
Yeah. I want people to be their authentic selves.
That's why I'm here. It's because I was in that space and I didn't feel like I was making any sort of difference. I just felt like, okay, I'm competing against like you guys, and you guys are like way better at it than I am. And it didn't feel right for me doing the affiliate marketing, and my guides or spirituality or whatever you want to call it kind of led me to podcasting. And so I'm kind of curious as to how this software, what kind of things would I be able to do as a podcaster with the software?
So we had this come up as well the other day, and I began thinking about it. How can a podcaster use our system? You can easily upload, your episodes. Let's say I'll use YouTube as an example. So let's say you host all of your podcasts on YouTube. We have an option inside of our system to connect your YouTube platform. You can upload your videos. If you have, let's say, 10 episodes pre-recorded, you can upload all of those videos inside of the system and schedule them out to be posted. The way you're at that point, you don't have to worry about it. You can also use the same videos to put them in a course, even though it's not a course. This is what it's called in the system we have. Basically, creating a page for yourself. Let's say you have your home base, your website, but then you want to have a place where people can watch the replays of your podcast. So you can put your videos on your website, post them from YouTube. That way you are generating traffic to your website, but you're kind of double dipping, because if people are watching the replays on your website, you're still getting views on your YouTube videos, but you're also keeping them, keeping them focused in on your podcast. And you don't have all these other distractions that you see on YouTube, ads popping up and, other thumbnails. So
with the TikTok and that happened.
It's a good platform for podcasters. It could be a very good platform, I should say.
One thing that I know that I'm concerned about is like ownership. So we all kind of experienced, at least Phil and I experienced, the TikTok ban that went down, and every creative contenter, everyone who had built a business through TikTok all of a sudden lost everything. How would that impact? Like if you're hosting on YouTube, what if YouTube kind of pulled a TikTok?
So that's actually a very good question. You do not have to host them from YouTube. You have the ability to upload them directly into your system. And that's the option they call a hosted video. So it would be inside of your media folder in the system. And that way you could pull it straight from your system. You don't have to worry about it being hosted anywhere else. It's your property. And you can even add your own thumbnails to it to kind of make it have that cool lure, if it's a picture of yourself or a picture of you and your guest on the thumbnail with the title of your episode. There's more platforms as well. I believe Vimeo and Wistia are on there. And then they have some custom coding options that if anybody wants to get real techie with it. But yeah, I like that you brought that up, Amy, because that was a big thing for people is, we all heard when we first started, get on multiple platforms. You don't want to have an audience on just one place.
Yeah. And besides podcasting, like just any kind of posts that you want to make, because it hooks up with LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook pages and Google My Profile as well. So you can hook up with all these. Like you can literally make one post and it will change it up to how you will post it on every single platform, and you hit one button and it goes out to all of them. And whenever you want, you schedule it, right?
My next question, because I've been talking to a few of my fellow podcasters about this, and they have questions that I don't have the answer to. And I'm like, okay, well, if I know that part of being authentic is finding who you are. And then for some people, they want to get out of the business of 9 to 5 and they want to be able to work for themselves and they just don't know how. Is there a support system or any communities? Like, how would that work?
We do have a premium community that we offer we have 3 different levels of our membership, or our software program, I should say. The middle and the top tier offers our premium community, which I have it set up to where there's a channel for general questions. We can go in on another channel for tech questions and concerns. I have a channel set up for product advice or collaborations. If you want to talk about, hey, I have this idea for a product, what do you all think? You can kind of collaborate there. That's also where our calendar is for our calls. We have weekly calls. I plan on doing what we call, people may have heard, office hours calls, where I will sit there, and that's going to be tech calls for tech support, where people can come and go if they need help with their system. So we're building a whole ecosystem right now to be able to support.
Yeah. So if somebody's coming in, like they want to get rid of or get out of their 9 to 5, right? I recommend don't right away, right? Don't just jump the gun. But something that we do is a 30-minute onboarding call too, right? Not an onboarding call. That's once they decide to come on, but like a discovery call. So that's like if you are stuck, you want to stop your 9 to 5, you want to do something, but you're not really sure what, this is a great opportunity to hop on a call with us. Even if you have no idea what you want to do, we might just be able to have a conversation with you. And we might be able to be like, okay, what are your passions? What are you good at? What do you think you could spend half an hour talking without even realizing you're talking about? And then people will be listening. So we can utilize some of that stuff. And we might have some amazing ideas that you never thought about that you can monetize on. So you never know unless like you do some research, and one of the best ways is to like, we're super friendly. We're very open. You just hop on a call with us and who knows what we can come up with, right?
Exactly. That's awesome. Okay, well, where can we find you all if somebody's interested?
So you'll find us on pretty much every social media platform, facebook.com/the mindset marketers, instagram.com/the mindset marketers. We do have a new YouTube channel at the mindset marketers on there. I'm still working out a content plan for that, so there's not too much on it right now. We each individually have our own LinkedIn profiles that you can look us up. Jess is giving me QN mindset marketer, and then mine is just Next Wave Sweet Phil. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, we're out there. We also have like Jess said, we have a calendar booking link. If you want to talk directly with us, we'd be more than glad to talk to anybody that's listening here.
As our listeners can tell, you guys are very easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Authenticity. I can speak.
Time just flies by when you're having a great conversation with somebody and they're real.
Oh wow,
really
yeah,
does.
it's been an hour already. Wow, thank you, Amy.
Yeah, as we're recording, my mom has my daughter and she's like constantly texting me. I'm like, I'm recording, just chill.
CC's good though.
Yeah, she's good. She had a fever. She came home Friday, had a fever, and slept from literally 4:30 until 8 the next morning. And she woke up a couple times, got her fed. She woke up in the morning and she's like, I want that thing where it's bread and cheese and bread. And I was like, a grilled cheese. She's like, yeah, can I have that for dinner? Sure, it's 1 a.m. Yeah, absolutely. You're sick.
Aw, yeah, poor
Yeah.
little soul. That's awesome.
My mom just said that she's not feeling the greatest and wants to come home now. So,
All right. Well, perfect timing to wrap it up.
yeah, absolutely. So, we will have everything linked to you guys in our show notes. And yeah, so we will definitely have you guys on again, maybe separately, and maybe get a little bit more into Phil's passion. Phil, what's your passion?
Me on the spot. No, honestly, I have a big passion for the tech side of things and automations and building the websites, and that's what I can get into for hours. And I realized 3 or 4 hours later, I'm like, oh crap! But I've gotten a bunch done, and it doesn't feel like work. So I know it's like that's what I love to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Phil, sorry, Jess. Looking at you, said Phil. I definitely want to have more conversations about the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to get into it with you.
That has been a huge thing for me. I know
Yeah.
that's a huge thing for you. And I think a lot of listeners can benefit from either techniques or classes or need tips and tricks and stuff.
Absolutely. I'd love to be on here again with you, Amy. It was fantastic and I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we will catch with you guys later.
All right. Tell
Sounds
Cece
great.
hi.
Thank you.
I will.
Thank
You guys have a great time.
Have fun,
Thank
Amy.
you.
Bye.
Bye.